Taking the time up front to be very careful about which employees get hired in a company can pay dividends over the long term. In this video, we'll talk about hiring and background checks. The first core item that we must consider is how qualified an individual is for a given job role. Do they have the correct skill sets? Are they suitable in terms of their personality for what's expected of them? And are they trustworthy? Job descriptions, then, must be detailed and well written to attract the appropriate candidates. Also, certain positions might have access to classified data or sensitive information. And as such, it might be especially important to conduct a thorough background check for this type of position. Competencies for potential employees might require that teamwork, leadership, and a proper proven background of ethics be used within the job role. There are also different types of reference checks for potential employees, like personal references that might be able to attest to the character of the individual. Work references, of course, lead a lot of insight into the past work history of an individual. A thorough background check could uncover additional information not disclosed by the potential employee. We can use this thorough background check resultant information perhaps to make a decision about hiring because it might be related to minimizing future lawsuits or to even actually identify falsifications perpetrated by the potential employee related to things like their work history, their job roles and duties in the past, their reasons for leaving jobs, or it might also bring to light criminal past history. The benefits of thorough background checks, even though it might cost more and take more time up front, are overall a reduced hiring cost, protection against potential lawsuits, lower employee turnover, and the identifying of criminal activity. So over the long term, what we're doing is being very selective of who gets hired to ensure the best possible candidate is filling a job role. Other things that might be done with background checks and employee hiring include polygraph tests, or drug tests, or even personality testing. There's also the timing that we must think about in terms of the full support that would be required or items that should be done prior to hiring, such as completing a background check for criminal activity. And also, even when people are hired, it's important that, in terms of timing, that we periodically reinvestigate some of these aspects. This might include periodic drug testing of employees. Then there's also the financial side of things, such as conducting a credit check by looking at the credit history of either potential new employees or even existing employees. The reason this can be important is because people in desperate financial situations will sometimes resort to desperate attempts to get money, perhaps to pay off lenders. And so over time, we might be able to shed light on this actually happening in the organization where people that have access to customer credit card numbers might actually be using them fraudulently. Driving records might also be very important, certainly if the job position involves driving for a company business. We might also want to validate social security numbers to make sure that they actually exist. We might also want to have a cross-reference check against a terror watch list for potential employees. In this video, we discussed hiring and background checks.